come forward. It's been a long day. And I worked at 6 o'clock this morning. Been all over the state. I don't have a mic. Just to give you some background. Back in August 2008, the consent order was given to the city from ADEM. The city was sued by ADEM and the Attorney General of the state of Alabama to fix the system. Just like the mayor said, so much time to get it fixed. We started working on this problem back in 2009. Looking at some of these environmental reports, we have some dates on them. In October of 2000, dates right. I wrote letters back in August of 2009, August 24th, to Fish and Wildlife, to USDA, we requested USDA to look at funding this project. We wrote letters to Corps of Engineers. Alabama Power had to say that they would provide enough power to do it because we paid for the power to do that. Tom Digby Regional Commission was asked to respond also. Alabama Historical Commission was asked to respond. And we have responses for all these things. And we had different maps, some of them quad maps, some of them just kind of area map, street maps, responses. Some of them are color, some of them are black and white. We actually looked at the place the sprayfield was too much acreage. We actually looked at above 53 and south, north 53 and south 53. It ended up on the south side 53 because the north side had a creek going right through it, almost the middle of it. When was the land on 53 purchased for the sprayfield? The land on 53, we had a 4-year contract on that, which I don't remember exactly. I can go look at my records, but it's been a while. It's been like 2 years since we got a contract on that land. They actually decided at one time they were going to sell it to someone else. I said, well, we have to find some more land because the engineering evaluation has been done, and that wasn't cheap. All the letters have been written, nothing's been approved. But it was actually purchased after we got the loan and grants in place, which was that actually purchased, was it February? Something like February this year. Okay. We had a contract on it for years. Has Uniontown been fined by ADEM? No, but they could. And as far as I know, you haven't paid any fines yet. I know the mayor and I went down and begged out, tried to prevent paying fines, because when Uniontown pays fines, that means the customers pay fines. That means your water rates go up. They don't have a magic pot to pay fines on, so it hasn't been paid. They were threatened with fines. We were able to talk them out of it because we were moving forward finally. When we had that meeting here, we had the head of ADEM, which I've never met him before. He showed up at the meeting with his deputy. We had the head of USDA. We had representatives of CDBG. We had Congressman Schools people representing. We had commissioners here. We had councilman people here. We had some others. I think the news media was there. What is the depth of the groundwater monitoring wells? I think I said there was 5 or 6. I do not know offhand what the depth is. I didn't memorize that. I'm sorry. Has a well survey been performed in the area? No. Let's see. Okay, the work was being done within the wastewater plant, for the wastewater plant. The spray field was somewhere else, of course. It's been that way since the beginning. We're talking about another spray field. Is this a public forum? Why do we have to answer the right questions? So it's not out of hand. Do you think there will be evaporation at 90% humidity? Actually, what we understand is in the hot summer weather, we actually have about 3/4 of an inch evaporation from a spray field or from a pond or a swimming pool. If you have a swimming pool or no friends have a swimming pool, in the summertime they're always having to add water. Who installed this system? If Maintain was a license, how did they get the system to get so bad? I don't know who said it was installed. Some of this stuff is 50 years old. Way outdates me. I'm older than 50, but I wasn't here when that was being done. I was probably in, I don't know, probably in college 50 years ago. Think about it. No, I'm not that old. I was in Europe. My father was in the military, and we were in France, so I was not here. But it was designed, I believe, by Goodman Mills Engineering. And things get bad because they get old and abused. You've seen how much grease has come out of the system. It's incredible. So don't pour your grease down there. Put it in a can, let it congeal, and put it in your trash. Get some of these small ones here. Why build a new spray field? Because the old one, I feel like it's not big enough. Are the spray fields in the Black Warrior Basin? No, they're not. They're in the Black Warrior Basin, the Alabama River Basin. If you want to check that, you can go online to Alabama Geological Survey. They actually give out maps. I have one of the maps, and you can see that for yourself. Is the wastewater plant in compliance with regulations? No, they're not. Not now. Why build a new spray field? Okay. When is the EIR completed? What is the availability for review? It was completed last year, and it was available last year, and it's still available. And after we did that one, like I said, we did one for, we wouldn't even done this one if we'd known we had funding locked down from USDA. Because theirs is similar. It's just a different format, which item you put first, which questions you answer, and this sort of thing. Does the city have a subject matter expert overseeing the project? I am a licensed professional engineer, have been since 1980. We have people on the project who have done an inspection on the project, who have done several this type of projects. We just came off the sewer project with this project. He has a lot of experience, and we gave his resume to the city, and they turned around and gave it to USDA, and they approved his history and his ability. But you're kind of sitting in a spot, but it's not a big hill, but it kind of runs all directions from here, and there's no real creek running through town. It kind of starts here. Cottonwood Creek starts in town. Freetown Creek starts just south of town.
The spray field will actually collect water, and the purpose of the spray field is to dispose of the water through evaporation.
Yes, sir.
And as insect larvae and stuff populate this area, part of the process wasn't looking at, West Nile is a big deal now. So that has to be something that somebody's got to address, isn't it?
That'd be up to the mayor. You raise your hand. I'm sorry. They were really up first.
My name's Donnie Wilson.
Okay.
I own the place about, maybe not quite a half a mile south of there. Is the city of Uniontown
on 53 or 65?
65.
65, okay.
Is the city of Uniontown, you and your company, willing to sign a guarantee that if I lose my pond of fish, y'all want to pay me for it?
There's no guarantees of mine.
So in other words, there's no guarantee this is going to work.
It'll work, but there's no guarantees in future maintenance of the system.
Well,
if it's properly maintained, it's going to be all right.
It should be that if y'all are 100% positive that this is going to work, there shouldn't be a problem with signing any papers.
Is there 100% positive when you put your fish in there they're all going to live?
I can tell you for a fact they'll live because I've been raising them for over 10 years.
All the fish.
One to die?
I've had
No, I'm just asking a question.
not by
Well, I
chemistry.
understand, not by
Anyway.
fluoridation.
You know,
What we can't do
okay.
is, what
If
we
the city of
can't,
Uniontown goes out there and they put insect repellent out there killing mosquitoes, do you know where that's going to wind up? That creek you're talking about was straight into my pond.
Okay.
27 acres. I've got $75,000 worth of fish in the pond. Are y'all willing to cover that risk?
it is what it is, you know. There's no, we're not signing anything. There's no guarantee.
I'm just here, if y'all are 100%
Let me ask you this, would you rather have the sewage running on top of the ground?
I think you've
And
got
going
other
to the creeks.
options. I think you've got other options besides doing what you're doing. I think somebody's taking the cheap way out.
Sir, are you a water customer here in the city?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to become a water customer in the city to help pay for this?
Yeah, I'll put a water meter in. Matter of fact, I have a water meter out there, I just don't have it on right now, because
Why
I've
not?
been using it over a year. I paid the water bill for a year and never turned it on.
Well,
I paid the water bill on 2 houses here in Uniontown for about 4 years, never turned them on.
One thing that we're not gonna do, we're not gonna sit up here and argue.
Okay, I'm not arguing, I'm just asking if y'all
This
are
is-
willing to guarantee.
I gave you
Because,
my answer.
okay, this thing, everybody else is gonna have to put up with the insects, the smell, or anything else that goes along with it. I'm looking at it financially on this, and that's my livelihood. When you begin to mess with my livelihood, I begin to get upset.
Okay.
I mean, at Freetown Creek runs right through my place, part of it anyhow. If you cannot build a berm tall enough to hold that much water in, there's no way. This land gets wet and it will not sink.
That's right.
All right, now that's another thing. Is the city of Uniontown gonna keep this place cut, keep the trees out of it so the sun can evaporate?
We'll do whatever it takes, Mr. Stevens, to make sure this system.
No, I don't want
Sir,
to do this.
we're
You know,
not,
I won't,
what we're
you know,
not
I'm
gonna
asking.
do is, we're not gonna write you.
Y'all were doing something positive here.
We're not about to write you a letter telling you that you have a 100% guarantee. Just like your insurance company cannot write you a letter that you have a 100% guarantee that you won't have an accident, your house won't burn down, or anything else. Now, that's just ludicrous to come in here and ask us to give
No,
you
it's
a
not.
Yes, it is. It's
No, it's
fine.
not. Because you have nobody competent.
Next,
You have nobody
Someone had their
competent
hand up over
that can
there.
operate that.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to get back, I'm not trying to cut
That's
you
all
off.
right.
But the mosquito problem, if the land doesn't perk,
That's right.
so it has to happen by evaporation. And when you put in a facility, somebody has to address what do you do with mosquitoes? Because there is West Nile.
That's right.
And to say, well, that's the city's problem, well, what is the city gonna do about it?
You have to ask the mayor about that. You had a question.
Is there an answer from the mayor about that?
We, like I just said again, if there's an issue that arises, we will take care of the issue that arises. I mean, you can get up here, I mean, see, what we have to be very careful is, number one, and like this gentleman just said, that he has a financial interest, and we have a financial interest in our city also. And number one, and our financial interest is in our city, to make sure that our city runs and operates, and that we can maintain a city. And one thing that you also need to, you know, you have a lot of people keep asking the questions, or you keep saying, well, it can go somewhere else, but where do you want to put it? Where else could it happen? I mean,
Did anybody talk to any of the landowners, right? What about the cheese plant, the land that they've got, running the spray system out there with theirs already?
Well,
They bought 260-something acres on the south, west of here.
I can say this, and I don't know what kind of pool the cheese plant has in Montgomery, but they constructed that spray field and had all that stuff without any of our knowing, and it took us all this time to do it, and they did it overnight. So you need to
Well,
call
they've got
Mr.
more
Rankin and
financial
find what kind of
backing.
pool he has in Montgomery, because we didn't have that type of pool in Montgomery. We had to do it the right way. Not saying that he didn't do it the right way, but we had to go through some steps. I don't know what the cheese plant did, because I can't answer that question for
Did
the
anybody
cheese.
contact any of the local landowners right there at the lagoon to see if they were willing to sell it?
Actually
Keep
about,
everything right there.
actually about Mr. Wilson, about 3 or 4 years ago, I don't remember what exactly, we actually asked the people that own the property just south of the lagoons. Just on the, right there, on the other side of that ditch. I walked the property, looked at it. It would have been a good piece of property to use, but they didn't want to sell it. It wasn't for sale, and they didn't want to sell it. So yes, now I understand the cheese plant may have bought that property,
No, they bought some on West of here.
West of here, okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, we did look at that. We just didn't go in this thing haphazard. That's what we approached them about buying it. But the people that owned it didn't want to sell.
Well, I was just, I
It would have been a good spot. It'd be far less size pump to pump it out of there, less energy used.
Right.
It would have been a lot better. But they didn't want to. And, you know, we couldn't force them to sell, basically.
Well, I understand that.
All right. I've asked several of your questions. Anybody, go ahead, Mike.
You said that ultraviolet light kills the germs,
Yes,
but it doesn't kill 100% of the germs.
it can. If it's kept operating
Will
properly,
it kill 100% of the germs?
it
in our
can.
system?
I'm getting reports from Brent, Alabama. I get one every week from Brent. They had a problem for a while, so I asked the TTL to send me a weekly report. And I turn around and forward it to the mayors.
We was talking about chemicals. I've been dealing with chemical over 20-some years. I am certified, and when you are spraying chemicals, and if you're spraying it up on top of the ground, if it comes a rain, where does that chemical go?
Washes into the creek. If it's not behind some kind of barrier.
Barrier's not gonna stop it.
Chemical travels. For a great example, if you get a bag of potting soil, if you dump it here on this floor, if you pour water up on top of it, and what's going to happen to it? It's going to spray it.
Okay.
Chemical does the same thing, and I live on the Marengo and Perry County line, and I'm only like 130 feet from it.
Okay.
I know it's about chemical.
Yes.
Okay, yes, Mr. Stevenson, is there any critical control points associated with this that where you see that the residents should be concerned about their health?
I don't at this point, but, you know, I told the mayor, I said one of the things that would help, if everybody feel better about it, and it actually help, would be to plant some trees, not in the dikes, but away from the dikes for a better barrier, okay?
Would you recommend, that I'm just saying,
Sure.
to assure the public something a little different than what has happened? I don't know if we've had in-house monitoring. I am aware that some of, on the other spray field, that the time limit that it was out of compliance, it was like 2 weeks before anyone noticed it, and that let me know that there is not any in-house monitoring. When I say in-house, I mean from the city to even go out daily, weekly, or what have you, to see if there's certain things, not so much that there may be someone here that couldn't handle it, but at least they could notify other individuals that can handle it before it get out of hand. So
Well, that's true. I mean, my recommendation is someone goes every day.
Every day.
Someone's being paid
To go
here
every
to go
day.
every day, to look at every pump station, to look at both spray fields, to be at the wastewater plant. And then other things happen during the day that people could report. You know, you may go look at something that's working just fine, and you go down the street, and 30 minutes later, it breaks.
So you're saying
So
That happens at your own house, you know.
So it will be your recommendation, well, I know that the state, the federal, state might have their guidelines, but if there was some in-house monitoring done from the city point of view, then that can
Well, now you
head
have
off.
a new entity managing the system, and they're responsible for those type of things.
Right,
who is that? The entity, not the city?
No.
no, but there are some things that the city
Yeah.
can do.
Well, they can, you know, they should be doing that too. Yes.
So Stephen, have this project met all the guideline requirement met by the federal state?
Yes. We wouldn't start it, but it did. I'm gonna say,
It's all right.
I'm gonna say,
I'm not touching. You said some of the same employees are working for the new company. Let me just say this. Nobody here's mad, nobody here has to argue. These people in Uniontown have seen every project that has been touched go down the drain. nothing's done right. Nothing's done right. No offense, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you being here, but you've been spending most of your time on the cell phone, not even listening to these people. Now, I'm just gonna say this. They are terrified that it's gonna be another Uniontown project where they have to eat dirt. They're already eating coal dust. And they're afraid. And that's why they're asking these questions. And they have a right to ask them. And you should be thrilled that your constituents are asking them.
And I'm quite
And
happy
you should
that
have
you
used
are.
the phone system to alert them about these meetings.
I did.
That's
And
not
if
a
you,
question.
with technology now, you can take notes on your cell phone, so that's what I was doing. Thank you. Okay, but like I was saying, where do you live, man?
I live in the Black Belt.
No, I'm just asking, do you live in Uniontown?
Well, half the time I'm here, half the
So
time that I do.
do you pay taxes in Uniontown?
It doesn't matter.
It
I'm not
does,
going there with you, young man. I am not going there with you, young man.
it does matter, because what.
It doesn't matter to you.
No,
I'm just shush,
no,
and you
no.
just shush and go out
I'm
with me.
making a point, no, please don't tell me to shush. I respect you.
No, you don't.
No,
You've been disrespectful from the minute we walked in
No,
here.
no, ma'am. Because what I hate is, you get up and you people in Uniontown have been used to this.
And
And
you know,
that's
I
very
totally
disrespectful.
disagree. I totally disagree.
No,
I totally
See how you start spreading
no. I don't appreciate, I don't appreciate the remark, you people.
No, ma'am. Don't go there for me. You got the wrong one. Don't go there for me. You got the wrong one.
I don't appreciate that type of stuff.
I did not say that.
Because-
Number one. Number two,
No,
you
no.
don't know who I am.
You
You need to cool down. Let me just say this. Nobody here's mad. Nobody here has to argue. These people in Uniontown have seen every project that has been touched.
And got them so that when it's not a complaint,
Let me say this.
okay.
No, bottom line is, that guy runs a firm that makes money.
I thought you
Wait now. He works for somebody. And he put together, he did an environmental impact report, and then he did this EID report, and then they designed, wait a minute, they designed a facility for Uniontown. Inherently, there are too many built-in conflicts of interest. But that fellow reports to somebody in the city, and he does what he's told to do. He said, this is what I can do for you for X millions of dollars, and somebody in the city has to say, well, yeah, I think that's okay. But whoever inside the city, whether that's the city council, the mayor, whomever, you're the folks that where the buck stops with. And if you don't understand what's going on and why it's being done, that's on you. But now when folks come up and, for example, I was surprised that there's no mosquito abatement in that. The fellow that had the $75,000 worth of fish, he got a problem. What happens in the 20 and 50 and 100-year flood? There were a bunch of questions in that piece of paper that I handed to him that he didn't even address. Because he said he was volunteer and he gave his time and he left. He said he's done with it, it's not his problem. But he reports to somebody in the city, and whoever he reports to, you folks that are writing the checks, hey, that's on y'all.
Okay,